it's Merryn here from Melon and Merryn. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to show you all about how to make some of my favourite pairs of earrings. So you've got these ones here, which are my little Mobius ones, and also a 4-in-1 diamond pattern. If you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button, and if you really want to get the notifications, then click the bell as well. So without further ado, here's how I made them.
So with these Mobius earrings, you can make bracelets like this, or you can just make earrings like I've got a selection here. So first of all, we're going to need our earring finding. So in this case, I've got some fishhook earrings, and then we're going to get on to putting in each of the little balls. So you can make 3 little balls, you can make 1, you can make as many as you like. So for each ball of the Mobius rings, what we're going to do is to take 8 of these rings. Now these are, for those that want to know the size, they're 16 standard gauge, which is the British gauge, or if you're watching this from America, they are 14 AWG. So that's just the thickness of the rings. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 rings inside 2 other rings. So being very careful, what you do is you don't pry them apart. You can see here that one of my pliers goes towards me and the other goes back. And then you just wriggle them just a little bit to get them so they're actually completely straight and closed. So we're going to put those 2 rings inside 1 ring first of all, and close that. And sometimes you just hear a nice little click when you know you've got that fairly straight. And then we're going to put another one through those. So we've got 2 rings linked into 2 other rings. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to line up or sort of lay flat all 4 of those rings so that we've got a gap between them. So we've got 2 rings collapsed on the other ones, flipped, so you've got a space between. My fat finger's in the way a little bit there, but when I place it down, you can get a bit more of an idea of there being a space between. So at this point, you probably find it easier to open all of your remaining rings. That way you can just hold your ball in one hand and the rings in the other with a pair of pliers. Okay, so you can see a little bit of that gap between just a little bit easier. And it just goes right through. Okay, so you've got another chance to see how I did that because I'm putting another one through. So exactly the same place that's going through at the same angle as the other one. And it just goes right through all 4 of those and out the other side. And so again, we're going to try and lay it flat so there is a gap between them all. So you want to put it through every single one so you can see that hole between them. It does get a little bit tight at this point. You can actually use more than 8 rings depending on what size ring set gauge that you have, but I find for this 8 is just nice and loose. It's not too tight, it's not too difficult to get this last ring through. So again, you can just sort of see that hole that they're going through. So going through all 6 of the other rings. If you just line those up, you can see it's just a nice little ball there. Perhaps in hindsight I should have done this with a brighter colour because seeing the black is a bit more difficult. And then just to finish that off and to link each of the balls together if you're doing multiples on an earring, or just to attach them, I use a smaller set of rings. In this case, I'm using 18 SWG or 16 AWG, just to put 2 of the rings of the ball's arms on one side and then repeat on the other side. So you've got 2 of the Mobius balls rings through the smaller ones. You can make these quite long if you like them, quite dangly. So I've just got a couple on each one, and then one through the earring finding, through the fishhook earring. And we're done. So of course we've got to redo all of that again. So again we start off with our 8 and go through. And then we have the second set of earrings that you can see there. And you can have all sorts of fun doing some lovely collar combinations with those. As you can see, I've done some other colours there. Okay, so these are the second lot of earrings that we're going to do today, and these are a fairly standard pattern called a 4-in-1 chainmail earring. So you'll find that the pattern actually is very similar to the one that you see in Armour. So we've got our fishhook earrings again, so we're just going to start off with very similar sort of idea. So we've just got one ring through the fishhook finding, and then we're going to pop 2 rings through that one. So this is going to be like a diamond pattern. So basically, if you think of it as 2 triangles as we go ascending, and then we're going to have a triangle descending to make our diamond pattern. So again, just 2 through that original one that we've popped through there. Okay, and so you can see when it lays flat, got like a mini triangle happening there. So it's just a matter of repeating that sort of idea. So if you do the middle rings first, I always find that much easier. So we'll pop that one through, so we've got that through both of those rings. So that will form the middle of our 3rd row. So the rings on each side just go through 1 ring. So all the middle rings go through 2, and the ones on each end go through just 1 ring. So row 3, we need 3 rings, so 1 through the middle, and then 1 through just that side you can see on the right hand side, and then a ring through the left hand side. So these are 18 gauge, or if you're in America, they're 16 gauge rings, so we need 50 rings in total, so 25 per earring. Obviously you can make them bigger if you like, but I like to go up to row 5. So we've got row 3 done now. So row 4, we'll have 2 rings through each of the middle ones. So we've got our first one through the left hand side 2. And then another one through the right hand side 2. Through that middle one, and then through the next one. You'll generally find that it's easy between each sort of stage to pop it on the table, or in this case my finger, just to lay it flat, just to make sure that it is sitting correctly. So we've done the middle ones, so now the ones on either side just go through 1 ring. So we'll do the right hand side. Try not to miss it. And 1 through the left hand side. Just give it a little push just to make sure that that's laying flat. So row 5, same again, putting through a ring through the 2 rings on the left, and then another ring through rings 2 and 3, so that one went through rings 1 and 2, so this is now going through rings 2 and 3, all on the same angle. And then one through rings 3 and 4 on that row. And then we've got our single ones on each side, and they just go through 1 ring on each end. So one on the right hand side, and one on the left hand side. Making sure my fat fingers don't get in the way too much. And making sure that you get at the same angle as all of the other rings. Okay, so that's all of our ascending rows. So now we need to make the other half of them. So this is even easier because you don't have to worry about the single ones on the end. So I've got 5 across there. So we just pop in the middle rings basically now. So through ring 1 and 2 on that previous row. And then through 2 and 3. Then through on 3 and 4. Just making sure it's laying flat each time you pop them through. And now 4 and 5. And then we just repeat that going down again. So we go down another row. So we're going to put 3 on this row. So through ring 1 and 2. Ring 2 and 3. Once I get them untangled. The best part about this is you can do all sorts of really pretty colour combinations. As I learnt from the previous video and did this a little bit brighter so you could see the rings a bit more clearly. You can start to see the diamond pattern taking shape now. And you can even hang little bits of beads on the bottom, any sort of perhaps pretty little charm that you want to hang on the bottom. Or as I said, you can keep going and make these 7 in the middle, 9 in the middle, make them a bit bigger. With this gauge I found that any more than about 7 does tend to not quite sit as well though. Yep, so you sort of, as I was saying, you can have ones that, I've got some little skulls there that I've got, one of my favourite pair of earrings there that you can see. So there's all sorts of things that you can put on the bottom at this point. I'll just do these plain for now. So that's one. Now you will find that as, you can see that I make the second earring. As well, trying to lay it flat, you can see that I actually end up having to put in a another ring because I put one in the wrong way. So it's very easy to do, and that's why I find it's easier to lay it flat each time. So as we go on, we make the second one. So there we go, we've got the 2 earrings there, and as I said, there's all sorts of different patterns and things you can do. It doesn't have to just be earrings. You've even got necklace here of one I've done. And there you have it, just a couple of pairs of earrings. So there's all sorts of different colour combinations you can make with this. So hopefully you'll be able to show me some of your different ideas and your colour combos. Well, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!